Hey family, hey family. This is CT Speaks. I am back for another edition of the shift. Well, today we are going to be talking about intentional focus. Intentional focus, it is a four-part series that we're going to be doing throughout the entire month of May. And I'm very excited to talk about this conversation. Throughout this month, we're also going to be bringing on different speakers to speak on this topic, to bring their thoughts to the conversation. But all month long, we're going to be talking about intentional focus. And when we think about the word intentional, it means to be done on purpose. It means to be deliberate. It means to make sure that you're very clear about what it is you want to manifest in your life, right? We are in the second month of the second quarter. And so I'm always conscious about time and timing of something. And then I'm very date conscious, right? When is it going to be completed by? And so I really govern my life in that way, because I think it's very important, because sometimes life, as it's this term, life be life, and but while life is life and life is moving on, and December 2024 going to come, and then we'll look up and say, well, where did the month go? Where did the year go? We all have been a part of those conversations when it comes to December of the end of the year, and someone says, where did the year go? Life was life, and so the year went. But one thing I had to learn, even with all the things that has happened to me in my life, even the challenges to that I've had to face, I had to also get to the point that life gonna be life, but I cannot allow that to control me, to dictate my course of action. While life is life, then I still need to be deliberate with intentional focus. Again, when we talk about the word intentional, it means about doing something on purpose. The definition went on to say making deliberate choices to reflect what is important to us. Becoming intentional can help us maintain a positive mindset, reach goals, experience more clarity, and be more present. It can also increase our focus and commitment and bring more purpose and meaning to our lives. So when we think about being intentional, it has to be done in a way that is planned. What are you planning for your life right now? What have you planned for the rest of this year? When we look at the calendar for the month of May, like I said, I like looking at the calendar and the dates. Starting today, it's 24 days left of this particular month. And so I started thinking to myself, well, Catherine, what are you going to do the next 24 days? And I said, well, you know what? I want to take the next 24 days to set up my next 24 months. 2 years from now, where do I want to see myself? Where do you want to see yourself? So I encourage you to join if that's something that you feel connected to over these next 24 days. Map out your plan for the next 24 months. Where do you want to see yourself at the conclusion of 2026? I've already written out mine. I see where I'm going. I know where I want to go. Therefore, every move has to be calculated. Every move has to make sense. I cannot just wake up one morning and see what's going to stick. That's not going to work for me. And again, everyone has their own rhythm. So if what I'm suggesting doesn't fit you or fit your style, listen, do what works for you. I'm just sharing what works for me. I have to have a schedule because it helps me stay focused. Over the next 24 days, I want you to focus on, where do you want to see your business? Where do you want to see yourself, even in your personal life, in your family life? How do you see yourself making an impact in your community, right? When you think about the word focus and the definition of focus, it means the state or quality of having or producing clear visual definition. I said, okay, so focus talking about having or producing clear visual definition that takes on shape, it takes on form. It's not something that you can't really make out what it is. When you're focused on something, you're being very calculated. It's calculated moves, right? And when I saw the visual definition, first I started thinking, well, we as leaders, we are visionaries, and we're always going to see something before it even happens, right? So when we think about visual definition, I started thinking about, when I'm looking into my future and I'm looking at the vision I have for myself, I can mold it and make it and create it into a specific definition, into a specific form. Sometimes when we're in our creative state of being and we're trying to manifest things in our life and in our business, sometimes it's so mystical because we can't see it. It hasn't manifested yet. But when I read this definition, I started to think about it differently. And I said to myself, Catherine, moving forward, you're going to look at vision differently. You're going to give it a definition of what you see. You're going to go ahead and start creating the shape and the form around it in your mindset, right? And sometimes that's why the manifestation hasn't happened yet, because it's just somewhere hanging loose in our mind. Well, I may want to do this. I may want to do that. I'm not really sure what it even looks like. Well, I would encourage you to start creating and making it into some type of form and some type of shape in your mindset. I've already mapped out where I want to go the next 2 years. I mapped out where I want to be in the next 10 years. What does that look like for you? When you look at the word focus, it means to adapt to the prevailing level of light and become able to see clearly. Sometimes we're not seeing clearly, and everything that I'm talking on, I've had to say it to myself. But sometimes when I was in those pockets of my life that there was uncertainty or things was cloudy and I couldn't see clearly, is a lot of times is because I didn't come into center of what it is I wanted to do. I wasn't in an alignment with my own self. So how could I be in alignment with the business? How could I be in alignment with all these projects and different things I want to do? I wasn't in alignment with myself. Once I started to get into alignment with myself and I understood who I was and what I needed to manifest and what my core skills and abilities are, not what somebody else can do, but what my core skills and abilities are. And I tapped into that, then everything became clear. When we look at the word focus, it means to place the focus on something. What are you focusing on? Sometimes we focusing on the wrong things. We focusing on what other folks doing, what they not doing, and we meddling in and it's taking away energy from what we need to be doing and what we need to be focusing on. Stay focused on your focus. Again, the word focus definition says place the focus on something. If you're not placing the focus on something and you kind of scattered, okay, well, I think I may want to do this. I think I may want to do that. Hey, listen, we're all in different seasons of our life. Sometimes we're just going through a scavenger hunt in our own life. I call it the scavenger hunt. We as children, you know how we do a scavenger hunt and things was hidden and we had to try to find it. Sometimes that's how life is. We going through a real life scavenger hunt, trying to find out our purpose, trying to figure out what it is we're supposed to actually do. I get it. I've been through the scavenger hunt. And honestly, I think in different phases of our life as we grow, it may be multiple scavenger hunts that we go through, because as we continue to grow, we are evolving, right? We are evolving. There's a quote that says, "It is during our darkest moments that we must focus to see the light." Sometimes we have entered into a dark season, or as some have said, or the quote that's out there, life be lifing, right? Things are going on. But sometimes we also cannot use life be lifing quote as a crutch. Now, again, life do be lifing sometimes, but at the same time, we cannot allow that to immobilize us. We cannot allow that to paralyze us. We cannot allow that to blind us and not see the light that lies ahead on the inside of us that will illuminate our pathway so we can continue to walk and thrive and become our best self, right? When we think about being intentional and having intentional focus, there was another quote that I saw and it said, "Live life to the fullest and focus on the positive." I heard a speaker say one time, "Why do we put a lot of energy in the negative?" And they went on to say the amount of energy we putting into the area of negative is the same amount of energy we can put into the positive. So why do we go into the negative opposed to the positive? Why do we do that? Is it our makeup? Is it nature? Is it just, I don't know. What is it? What do you think it is? Personally, I think sometimes this spirit of being a pessimist is looming over our heads, whether it be because society or social media or things that's putting into the atmosphere, or sometimes it's negative self-talk, or sometimes you're around the wrong people. Okay, because sometimes when you be around the wrong people, they talking negative, they trying to talk you out of your gift, your purpose, your calling. I don't think you can do it, you ain't got the resources. Listen, you make it up in your mind. You be very deliberate in this season on what it is you want to do. You take the next 24 days to plan out your next 24 months, and it will manifest. It will come to pass because you're going to be very intentional. There's another quote that says, focus on the journey, not the destination. Sometimes we look at where we are at point A and we see that we need to get to point Z, and it's everything in between. And we're like, I don't know if I can take this journey. I don't know if I can move forward. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. The I don't know start rolling in the mind. So I'm encouraging everybody that may have the I don't knows is to walk the journey irregardless of the I don't knows. One thing I will say about myself, there's been different journeys. I've been derailed. You know, a train is on a train track, and sometimes they jump track and get derailed. I've been derailed in so many areas of my life, in so many different phases and stages of my life, right? But I want to encourage you, even through every derail that I personally have experienced, I had to get back up. Was it areas of hurt and pain and challenges? Of course, we go through that. But one of the things that's always been on the inside of me is that I got to get back up again. And so I want to encourage somebody that has been going through certain things to get back up again. This whole month is a 4-part series talking about intentional focus. I want you all to understand that you have to have intentional focus, even in the good days, even in the bad days. Because sometimes when we have good days and everything flowing good, we want to slow pump up the brakes and no, 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 we got to keep the steam moving forward. We got to all move forward with a rapid pace. Now, again, I'm not telling you what pace you need to go. My rapid pace and your rapid pace may be two different paces. So don't compare yourself. What I am saying is be consistent. Be consistent in whatever pace you can be consistent for yourself. There's another quote that says, most people think it takes a long time to change. It doesn't. Change is immediate, instantaneous. It may take a long time to decide to change, but change happens in a heartbeat. And that's a quote by Andy Andrews. And so I'll use just a personal scenario for myself. I've been going through this health and wellness transformation for myself. It's been a long journey personally. I had a woman's event. My mentor was there. She spoke life. She was very raw and real. And it was something that she said that lit a fire under me. And in that moment, I made an immediate decision to make an immediate change for my health and wellness for my life. Now, I was already contemplating on that. I tried some things, but it never took root. And then I reached out to her the day after the women's event and I said, listen, this is what I'm trying to do. This is what I'm struggling in. And she sent me, I call it the recipe on what she did for herself to start incorporating a more healthier lifestyle, if you will. I immediately took the challenge. She challenged me. I accepted the challenge. And instantaneously, I started to see a transformation in my health, my wealth, and everything in my life, right? Because you know how they say your health is your wealth. What wealth? It is true. It is true. And so, because if I am not operating in my optimum in my health, it's going to slow me down in my business. And I'm not going to be my best self. I'm not going to be able to serve the people that I'm supposed to serve at my optimum if I'm not at my best on my health side, right? And so that may not be something that resonate with you. Maybe you already got your flow on the health and wellness side, but I did it personally. And so I had to take a pause and pump the brakes and say, Catherine, you need to get this under control so that way you can source, so that way when you're coaching and working with people, you're giving them your best and not the leftovers. There's another quote that says, if you don't like something, change it. If you can't change it, change your attitude. And that's a quote by Maya Angelou. Again, we all go through life. We all go through changes. We all go through something. We go through the go through, right? But while we're going through the go through, it says, if you don't like something, change it. Listen, I needed to change something as it related to my health and wellness. It was not trending in the right direction. Now, when I made that change, again, I was still in a mode of trying to figure it out. So I get that. Sometimes we're in a season when we're saying be deliberate, be intentional, be focused. Sometimes you're still trying to figure out the pathway. I get that. You're still trying to figure out what is your rhythm. I like to call it your rhythm. What is your rhythm, right? And as it relates to myself, once I finally got my rhythm and finally understood how I'm going to flow as it relates to the health and wellness, I haven't been able to turn back and look back and trip up, right? But it was a season for me to get there. That's just my personal scenario. There could be a different scenario for you in your life that you're still trying to figure out your rhythm on. Whatever that is, you have the capacity to change it. But the quote went on to say, if you can't change it, change your attitude, right? Change your attitude about the situation until the situation changes. There is an ebook that I wrote, and anyone that wants a copy can get a complimentary copy. It's called 7 Days: How to Manifest Your Dreams in 7 Days. Day one talks about the detox. Day two talks about creating new habits. Day three talks about rediscovering your why. Day four talks about the 12th round. Day five talks about give your day an assignment. Day six talks about the dawning of a new day. And day seven talks about execute. So you might be one that's saying, I hear everything you saying and it sounds good, but I need a guide. I need some kind of roadmap to help me structure. Well, I have you. I got you. Just reach out to me. You can respond back to wherever you're seeing this podcast show, DM me, or you can email me, ct@catherinetrotter.com, and I will gift you a complimentary copy of 7 Days: How to Manifest Your Dreams in 7 Days. This ebook will help you structure your weekly 7 days, right? Every 7 days, how should you structure your week so you can maximize the last 24 days of this month? The last 24 days of this month, put your plan in place for the next 24 months where you want to see yourself grow into over the next 2 years. Listen, I wanted to make sure I set the tone for this month of the podcast, of everything that we're going to be talking about. I'm getting ready to wind down, but I want to plug something real quick. You might be saying, I need more tools. Yes, give me the 7 days, but I need something else. We have a business conference coming up on Saturday, June 22nd, kicking off at 10 a.m. in Vienna, Virginia. That's like in the Tyson Corner area. I invite you to participate in that business conference. For the business owners that's listening, you're saying, listen, I want to be intentional about my business, but I need some more structure. I need help. So I invite you to attend that business conference. It's from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. It's at the Intelligent Office in the Vienna area. If you have any questions about that, feel free to call me 443-799-6529, and I will definitely be able to get you connected. We can get you enrolled to attend that business conference. As I get ready to wind down this segment, I want you to think about your purpose and where you're trying to go the rest of this year. Listen, this is going to be the absolute best month of the year because you're getting intentional, you're getting focused, and you know exactly where you want to go. And if you need some support, again, I can send you the 7 days, and then I can extend an invitation to you to the business conference that's going to be on June 22nd. Listen, there's going to be three other parts to this series. I'm going to be inviting other business leaders on to have a conversation with me on this specific topic. I'm going to see you at the top.